Hi, Philip Griffith with PSG Photo Solutions here again. And this is Becky Ball. And you've moved. You were in New Hampshire, but now we're in Washington.
Yes, I am in Tacoma, Washington.
Oh.
So yeah, not a small move. One coast to the other coast. Yeah.
And the name of your company?
Is Beacon Digital Video and Photo Services.
Okay, great. And what pain point, what's the reason people would come to you?
Yep, so really 90% of my business is home movie transfers. And people call me up and email me with inquiries of how can I help them digitize their videos that are in all of these old formats, reel-to-reel film, 8mm film, VHS tape, even DVD, because that's, really so fast becoming obsolete. And they want help digitizing them or just bringing them up to a format of today's standards that will allow them to view their movies again and not view them on a device, but view them on the TV like they were being, were able to do through a DVD or VHS tape.
Right.
And that is really their pain point because they don't know how to do it. They don't know what the MP4 video file means, and they don't know what delivery on a thumb drive would mean. And that's really causing just more frustration and more problems delivering on just a thumb drive. So lucky enough, we are now able to give them a solution just in this last year, which is their own video streaming service. It's kind of like your own Netflix, private Netflix channel, and it works just like that, but it's called Projector Video Streaming Service.
Okay.
And it's strictly for home movies and personal videos, whether it's old formats that we are converting to MP4 video or even phone video that we are organizing for them. And now they can get all of that put up on their own personal video streaming service and just utilize it through their TV with their remote control that they're already using. And it's just simply a choice opposed to, I'm not going to watch Netflix tonight, I'm going to watch my home movies tonight.
Oh, that's fabulous. Because I remember growing up, my father would take 8mm film and we would sit and watch the home movies because yes, that was our entertainment. But I mean, that actually connected me with not just my grandparents and my aunts and uncles, but with my great-grandparents. I remember them from the movies that my father had taken and that we watched growing up.
Exactly. And you watch them, even though it may not have been on the TV necessarily, but it was big screen still, right? Because we would get the projector out and the big screen. And that's the experience, the viewing experience that really people want. They don't want to be crowded around just a phone or a computer.
Right. Something, a screen that's this size is totally different than a screen that's, hanging on your wall.
Yes, exactly. So, and this is bringing back that home movie night, and being able to just watch it on demand, anywhere, anytime.
Right.
And, it's one thing when we're digitizing their collection of videos for them and giving them all of those files back on an external hard drive, but that's not what they're going to utilize to watch.
Right.
That's their library, their archive, their safety, to have all of that kind of in the, the old days of the file cabinet or whatever, in the safe that put away. But Projector is their on-demand viewing access that we supply them with.
And I love that it's not just the old things that have to be brought forward, but it still works with the new things that they're taking now.
Exactly.
So that everything's all together and you can watch it. You can watch the old stuff from Grandpa when he was a kid and then watch the grandchild as they're a kid.
Exactly. It's linking the generations, which is exactly what we're all about, and linking those family stories and the family history. So you have your generations from those old days of the film back in 1930s and 1940s forward, but then you have all of that video that's being collected and taken on our phones and devices these days that is just just right now staying on the phones, because even though it's new technology, we still have that same problem of just too much on our phones and not knowing how to extract it from the phones and put it in a viewable situation, which Projector allows that as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And what's an interesting or unusual project that you did with a client this past year?
Yep. So I think one of the projects that really stands out is one that I delivered for Christmas time this past December. And one of the other services I offer is making slideshows with still photos. So instead of having, just all of the photos, it just in single like JPEG format, I take those and put them into a software program that allows me to create a video. So the output is, again, MP4 video file. And so I had a family contact me, and they had already scanned all the photos and digitized all their individual photos from their great-grandfather all the way to present day, including both sides of the family. And they wanted a family legacy video, which is something that we do and we offer. However, it's not a project that I get often. I usually do a memorial service videos or videos for weddings and rehearsal dinners and things like that. But this was a really special for me because they came to me because they saw on my website kind of what, the service that I offer, but also referrals and testimonials of how I work. And it really resonated with them as not just something they wanted an iMovie program to do. They wanted something unique and custom, and that's what I was able to create for them. And even just like the first, say, 30 slides that I put together in the slideshow program, and to have them review before I went any further into that project, they were already in tears, and they said, "You have our permission to just go forward with it. This is exactly more than what we were hoping for."
Yeah.
So it really just sticks out in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that sometimes just looking at individual pictures, it's hard to see the connections, but when you put them together in a slideshow and you're going from one picture to another, you're directing people's eyes and telling a story with those. I actually love doing slideshows.
Yep, exactly. And that's how we formatted it in that exact way, because it was kind of almost like chapters from the beginning of the first photo that they had of the great-grandfather all the way through. And we had we had different chapter titles that separated and kind of announced that next chapter, the next, in
Next
chronological
generation.
order of the generations, exactly. And it really made sense. So it had a clear kind of beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
And it's just something that they'll be able to cherish and share and watch and pass on. And it totally went beyond the customer's end goal, because of that. And then to be able to upload that and put that and create the Projector account for them and upload that in time for Christmas, they had the perfect viewing experience on top.
So the whole family could see, grandparents, parents, grandchildren could see this whole thing together.
Exactly.
And that's actually, one of the things that's exciting is that getting everyone together and letting them experience it together as a family, not just, oh, okay, I'm going to see it, and then I'm going to hand it to you, you're going to see it. Because trying to crowd around even an iPad or a computer screen it's just not the same.
Exactly.
As if you're watching it on television or sort of almost like in the movies, because quite honestly, today's home TV screens are so much bigger than what
we grew up with. That's exactly right. And that's why it's so important, because where we're taking so many pictures and videos these days, it's kind of the idea of it and the wonderfulness of it is kind of getting lost, because it's just so easy to do now. and we're not really viewing them. We're viewing them quickly, scrolling through, and not getting that that story like you just explained, and that clear, beginning and end, like a movie, a cinematic production. And that's what Projector brings back, is the family movie night. And you think that you're going to be seeing, you're experiencing it like you are in a theater, exactly. And you can get out your popcorn and you can gather around in your PJs or whatever.
Right. Well, and you can start to interact too, because conversations start when you're seeing, especially like in that slideshow, well, what was my great grandfather like? What did he do? How, and all sorts of questions come up, especially from the younger generation. And so that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what a great thing. It's not just photos, but it's your movies and all sorts of things that can tell your story. So continue to watch next week for when we come back with another photo organizer from our conference in San Diego.